Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there was a world where the sun never set. This kingdom, known as Solaria, was bathed in a warm golden light that gave all its inhabitants vibrant energy and constant joy. The plants grew taller, the flowers were more colorful, and the rivers shone like liquid gold. On the hills of Solaria, full of lush vegetation, butterflies with sparkling wings danced in the air, and birds sang melodies that filled hearts with hope. The people of Solaria, with their radiant smiles, celebrated life with festivals full of music, dance, and delicious banquets, where the aroma of spices mixed with the perpetual freshness of the air. The magic of eternal light permeated every corner of the kingdom, creating an environment where dreams came true and happiness was an unchanging constant. The streets of Solaria were adorned with bright lanterns that reflected the sunlight, creating a spectacle of colors and shadows. Artisans displayed their creations, from sparkling jewelry to finely embroidered fabrics, while poets recited verses inspired by the beauty of the kingdom. Children ran free, their laughter echoing like bells, and the elders told ancient stories about heroes and adventures, keeping the people's rich oral tradition alive. In Solaria, each day was a celebration of life, where kindness and generosity flourished, and the community came together in an unbreakable bond of love and harmony. In the center of Solaria, there was a majestic city called Auropolis, where all the buildings were made of a golden crystal that reflected sunlight in millions of colors. In the heart of the city stood the Palace of the Sun, where the Solar Queen lived, a woman of radiant beauty and incomparable wisdom. She ruled with justice and kindness, maintaining harmony and prosperity throughout the kingdom. The Palace of the Sun was an architectural marvel, with towers that seemed to touch the sky and hanging gardens filled with luminescent flowers. Fountains of crystal-clear water gushed incessantly, creating soft melodies that lulled the dreams of everyone who heard them. Inside the palace, resplendent halls were decorated with tapestries that told the story of Solaria and her brave heroes. The Solar Queen, with her mantle made of sunbeams, held public audiences, where she listened to the needs of her subjects and offered wise and compassionate advice. Her advisors, chosen for their loyalty and knowledge, helped her govern in a balanced and efficient manner. Auropolis, with its streets paved with golden stones and vibrant markets, was the cultural and economic epicenter of Solaria, attracting visitors from all corners of the kingdom who came to marvel at its beauty and learn from the wise men who resided there. Each morning, the Solar Queen performed a magical ritual to ensure that the sun continued to shine without ceasing. She climbed to the highest tower of the palace, held an enchanted solar crystal, and sang an ancient melody that made the sun dance in the sky. This ritual was a secret kept by generations of Solar Queens, and was the source of the eternal light that bathed Solaria. The tallest tower, known as the Dawn Tower, offered a panoramic view of Auropolis and the vast lands of Solaria. With the first ray of sunlight touching the crystal, an explosion of colorful light illuminated the sky, signaling the start of a new day. The inhabitants of Solaria stopped to watch this daily spectacle, feeling blessed to live under the protection of the Solar Queen. The ritual not only kept the sun shining, but also renewed the kingdom's vital energy, strengthening the magical connection between the queen and her people. Children learned about the importance of this ritual in schools, where stories of the courage and wisdom of ancient queens were told with pride. The solar crystal, a relic passed down from generation to generation, was kept with extreme care, being considered the beating heart of Solaria. The melody sung by the Solar Queen was an ancient song, the words of which were only known to those who inherited the throne, ensuring that the secret of eternal light remained safe and intact. However, despite the beauty and prosperity, there was a mystery that hung over the kingdom. An ancient prophecy said that one day, when the sun disappeared for a brief moment, a hero would arise to discover the true secret of eternal light and protect Solaria from a hidden threat. On a seemingly ordinary morning, a young man named Lumin, son of a humble farmer, watched the Solar Queen perform her ritual from the top of a hill. Fascinated by the glow of the solar crystal, Lumin deeply desired to understand the secret of that magic. Suddenly, an unexpected event happened. The sun flashed in the sky, darkening for a brief second. The entire kingdom stopped, and a shadow of concern crossed the Solar Queen's face. Lumin felt a calling in his heart and decided it was his mission to solve the mystery. He set out on a journey through the kingdom, encountering magical creatures and ancient sages who offered him clues and advice. In his travels, Lumin discovered that the source of eternal light was not only the solar crystal, but also the love and hope of the inhabitants of Solaria. With each step he took, he delved deeper into ancient secrets, revealing stories of courage and sacrifice. The inhabitants of Solaria, aware of his mission, joined him, sharing their own stories of overcoming and faith. Lumin realized that Solaria's true strength lay in unity and the ability to face the darkness together, empowering the solar crystal with its own inner lights. At the end of his journey, Lumin not only unraveled the mystery, but also revitalized the spirit of the entire nation, bringing about a new era of prosperity and harmony. He found ancient artifacts that told of forgotten legends and symbols of past alliances, which he used to further inspire the population. Distant villages began to communicate more, exchanging resources and knowledge, promoting unprecedented growth. Annual celebrations were instituted to remember the importance of unity, and education about the secrets of Solaria became an essential part of teaching in schools. Lumin's name has become synonymous with leadership and compassion, a living reminder that the brightest light comes from within everyone. After many challenges and trials, Lumin returned to Auropolis with a new understanding. He explained to the Solar Queen that the ritual not only kept the sun shining, but also united the hearts of everyone in the kingdom. With this new understanding, the Solar Queen invited all inhabitants to participate in the ritual, sharing her joy and hope. Together they sang the ancient melody, and the sun shone with a splendor never seen before. Thus, Solaria continued to prosper, now with a new secret to its eternal light: the unity and love of its people. Lumin was hailed as a hero, and his story was told for generations. And whenever anyone asked about the secret of Solaria's eternal light, the Solar Queen smiled and replied, "It is the heart of each of us." The fame of Lumin and his journey has spread to every corner of the kingdom and beyond. Schools and temples were erected in his honor, and sages began to study and teach the principles of unity and love that he had discovered. Annual festivals celebrated the eternal light, where inhabitants gathered to tell stories, sing songs, and renew their promises of solidarity and mutual support. Solaria's neighbors, impressed by the kingdom's change and strength, sought to learn from them. Emissaries and dignitaries came from distant lands to witness the shining light of Solaria and hear the story of Lumin. The kingdom became a beacon of hope, an example to be followed by all who sought peace and prosperity. Lumin, although revered, lived humbly among his people. He continued to travel the kingdom, helping where he was needed, always reminding everyone that true strength came from within. He taught that every small act of kindness, every gesture of love, and every moment of togetherness contributed to the eternal light that illuminated Solaria. Children grew up listening to his stories and aspiring to be like him. Games and plays recounted his adventures, and he became a symbol of courage and determination. The elders fondly remembered his visits, where he would listen patiently and offer words of wisdom. The Solar Queen, inspired by Lumin, implemented policies that encouraged collaboration and compassion among citizens. Community projects flourished, and Solaria became a place where everyone felt valued and important. Eternal light was not just a mystical phenomenon, but a tangible reality, reflected in the smiling faces of the inhabitants and in the daily actions that reinforced the cohesion of the kingdom. Over time, the story of Lumin and the eternal light of Solaria became more than a fairy tale. They became a constant reminder of the power of love and unity. Lumin was remembered not only as a hero who saved the kingdom, but as the guide who showed everyone the way to a better, more enlightened life. And so, as sunlight bathed Solaria day after day, Lumin's spirit shone eternally in the hearts of all. Children grew up listening to their adventures, and elders shared their wisdom, keeping the flame of hope alive. Temples and monuments were erected in his honor, celebrating his achievements and teachings. At annual festivals, the people of Solaria would gather to retell the stories of Lumin, lighting up the night with lanterns and bonfires, symbolizing the eternal light he brought. Lumin's legacy intertwined with the kingdom's traditions and cultures, inspiring generations to pursue justice, kindness, and courage. In every corner of Solaria, there were traces of his influence. From schools where his name became synonymous with learning, to marketplaces where honesty prevailed as a fundamental value. Artists found inspiration in his story, creating works that captured the essence of his sacrifice and determination. Songs and dances celebrating Lumin echoed through the streets year-round, not just during festivals but also in moments of celebration and reflection. Families proudly recounted how their ancestors fought alongside Lumin, and children dreamed of following in his footsteps, dedicating themselves to noble causes and the defense of the oppressed. In times of hardship, the people of Solaria drew strength from the memory of Lumin, renewing their faith and hope in better days. Even the landscape bore his mark, with gardens and parks designed to reflect the beauty and serenity he embodied. Scholars studied his strategies and philosophies, ensuring that his wisdom guided future leaders. Thus, Lumin's spirit not only illuminated the past but also continued to light the path forward, a beacon of unwavering hope and enduring love for generations to come.